Hi, I'm Elias. For 3 years, I've mopped floors and emptied trash bins at Next Tech Solutions, a software company that develops industrial automation systems. Most people don't even look at me when I roll my cart past their desks. That's fine. I prefer watching and learning. Marcus Chen, the lead systems engineer, was different at first. We'd talk during late nights when he worked overtime. "You're still here, Elias?" Marcus said one evening, leaning back in his chair. "Someone's got to keep this place clean," I replied, emptying his wastebasket. "What are you working on?" "Trying to debug the Patterson factory automation system. It's a nightmare." "What's the issue?" Marcus laughed, not unkindly. "Wouldn't bore you with the technical stuff, man. Just know it's complicated." I nodded and moved on, but I listened. I always listened. At night, I'd study programming on my laptop in the break room. Community college dropout turned janitor. That was my story. But I never stopped learning. Last Tuesday changed everything. The emergency started at 6 a.m. I arrived to chaos. Engineers running between conference rooms, phones ringing constantly. Sarah Martinez, the CEO, stood in the main workspace, her expression tight. "How long until it's fixed?" she demanded. Marcus ran his hands through his hair. "We're trying everything. The entire Patterson automation system crashed. Production's completely halted. We're losing them hundreds of thousands every hour." "Every hour?" Sarah's voice rose. "They're our biggest client." I know. Marcus turned to his team. "Chen, did you try the backup protocols?" "Already did," another engineer called out. "Nothing's working." I'd been cleaning near the server room the previous week. I'd overheard Marcus discussing a patch he'd implemented, and I'd noticed a potential conflict with the legacy code architecture, the kind of mistake someone makes when they're overconfident. "I can fix it," I said quietly. The room went silent. Everyone turned to look at me, mop still in hand. Marcus recovered first. "What did you say?" "I can fix it," I repeated louder. The engineers burst out laughing. A few exchanged glances that clearly said, "Is he serious?" That's really sweet, Elias," Marcus said, his tone dripping with condescension. "But this is advanced systems engineering. We appreciate the enthusiasm, but—" "Prove it," Sarah interrupted, staring at me intently. "You're saying you can fix what my entire engineering team can't?" "Yes, ma'am." Marcus stepped forward. "Sarah, come on. He's a janitor. No offense, Elias, but you don't even have a degree." "Neither did Steve Jobs," I said. "Give me 30 minutes." Sarah studied me for a long moment. "You have 20. If you can't fix it, Marcus, you explain to Patterson why we're incompetent." Marcus's jaw clenched, but he gestured toward the computer. "Be my guest." I sat down, my heart pounding. The engineers crowded around, whispering. I blocked them out and focused. The code was exactly where I expected. Marcus's patch from last week had created a recursive loop in the automation sequence. I isolated it, rewrote 3 functions, and rerouted the backup initialization. 18 minutes later, the system came back online. The room erupted. Sarah grabbed my shoulder. Where did you learn?" "I've been teaching myself for years," I said. "I noticed the issue last week, but I wasn't sure it would cause a crash until—" "This is incredible." Sarah was already on her phone. "Bill, crisis averted. We're back online. No, you won't believe this." The engineers swarmed me with questions, everyone except Marcus, who stood in the corner, his expression unreadable. That afternoon, I got a call from HR. "Elias, this is Jennifer Wu. We need you to come to the main office immediately." My stomach dropped. Did I do something wrong? "Just come up, please." When I arrived, Marcus was there with Sarah and Jennifer. "Have a seat," Jennifer said. Marcus cleared his throat. "So, about this morning, I wanted to clarify something for the record." "Clarify what?" I asked. "The fix you implemented, it was based on my diagnostic work from last week. I'd identified the issue but hadn't had time to implement the solution yet." My blood ran cold. "That's not true. I have documentation," Marcus said smoothly. "Emails, notes. I'd already mapped out the exact fix you used." "Then why didn't you mention it this morning?" I demanded. "I was about to, but you jumped in." He smiled apologetically at Sarah. "I didn't want to embarrass him in front of everyone. Elias helped execute my solution, which I appreciate, but let's be clear about who actually solved the problem." "That's a lie." I stood up. "Your patch caused the crash. I fixed your mistake." Sarah held up her hand. "Elias, I understand you're upset, but Marcus has been with us for 8 years. He's led dozens of successful projects." "Check the logs," I pleaded. "Check the code I changed versus what was there before." "We did," Jennifer said quietly. Marcus provided documentation showing he'd planned those exact changes. I stared at Marcus. He met my gaze steadily, his expression sympathetic. I know you're disappointed, but taking credit for other people's work isn't cool, man. I'm willing to overlook it this time. You're unbelievable, I whispered. Am I? Marcus leaned forward. Or are you just a janitor who got lucky? I left that meeting shaking with rage. Back in the supply closet, I sat on an overturned bucket and tried to think. Marcus had stolen my solution. He'd somehow documented it retroactively and made me look like a liar. Elias. I looked up. David Park, a junior engineer, stood in the doorway. Hey, David. That was messed up. What Marcus did in there. You believe me? Dude, I was there this morning. You fixed that system from scratch. Marcus was clueless. David came in and closed the door. This isn't the first time either. What do you mean? 3 months ago, intern named Rebecca solved a major security flaw. Next day, Marcus presented it as his own work at the board meeting. She complained to HR, but he had documentation proving it was his idea. What happened to her? They didn't renew her internship. David's expression darkened. Marcus said she was difficult to work with. Showed poor team dynamics. She couldn't get a reference and had to move back home. Why didn't you say something? I tried. No one believed me over Marcus. He's untouchable here. Sarah's golden boy. David pulled out his phone. But I kept emails, time-stamped conversations where Rebecca explained her solution before Marcus documented it. My mind raced. You think there are others? I know there are. Angela Rodriguez in QA mentioned something similar happened to her last year. She designed an entire testing protocol and Marcus claimed it during a client presentation. Is she still here? Yeah, but she's been passed over for promotion twice since then. David checked his watch. Look, I have to get back, but if you're thinking about fighting this, I'm in. Marcus needs to be stopped. After David left, I sat there processing. This wasn't just about me. It was a pattern. Marcus built his reputation by stealing from people he considered beneath him. Interns, QA staff, janitors, people without power. That evening, I found Angela in the parking garage. Angela Rodriguez? She turned, keys in hand. Yeah? Oh, you're Elias. I heard about this morning. That was impressive. Can we talk? It's about Marcus Chen. Her expression shifted immediately. I don't want to get involved in whatever. He stole credit for your testing protocol, didn't he? Angela froze. How do you know about that? Because he did the same thing to me today, and to an intern named Rebecca 3 months ago. Rebecca Santiago? Angela's eyes widened. I wondered what happened to her. She just disappeared. He got her fired, or effectively fired. I took a breath. David Park says you designed a testing protocol that Marcus presented as his own. Angela's jaw clenched. The adaptive regression testing framework took me 4 months to develop. I showed it to Marcus, asked for his feedback before presenting it to the team. 2 days later, he's showing it to clients, calling it his innovation. Did you report it? To who? HR? Sarah loves Marcus. She thinks he's some kind of genius. Angela's voice cracked. I needed this job. I'm a single mom. I couldn't risk getting fired like Rebecca. What if we could prove it? What if we had documentation, witnesses, a pattern? Elias, you seem like a good guy, but Marcus has been here for years. He knows how to cover his tracks. He has friends in HR, on the board. He also has enemies, I said. People he's hurt. If we can find them, if we can build a case, they'll never believe a janitor over their lead engineer. Maybe not, but they might believe 3 victims with time-stamped evidence. Angela studied me for a long moment. You're serious about this? He made me look like a liar in front of everyone. He's still up there taking credit for my work, and apparently he's been doing this for years. I met her gaze. I'm not letting him get away with it. Okay. Angela nodded slowly. Okay. I kept everything. Every email, every document, every version of my framework before Marcus touched it. I'll help. Over the next 2 days, I barely slept. David, Angela, and I met in a coffee shop across from the office. Angela brought her documentation, comprehensive proof that she'd developed the testing framework independently. David had Rebecca's emails, plus his own notes from meetings where Marcus had presented his ideas minutes after junior staff suggested them. I tracked down Rebecca through LinkedIn. She was working retail in Ohio. Rebecca? This is Elias. I work at Nextech. I have nothing to say about that place, she said immediately. Marcus stole credit for my work too, yesterday, the same way he did to you. Silence on the line. Then, did he get you fired yet? Not yet, but I'm building a case. I have witnesses, documentation. I need your statement. They won't believe you. They didn't believe me. What if they had no choice? What if the evidence was overwhelming? Rebecca laughed bitterly. You think evidence matters? Marcus is Sarah's favorite. He makes her look good, brings in clients. She'll protect him no matter what. Maybe. But I have to try, we all do. I paused. He's still doing it, Rebecca. He'll keep stealing from people, ruining careers, getting away with it unless someone stops him. Another long silence, then. What do you need from me? Everything. Emails, documents, your statement about what happened, dates, times, witnesses. I'll send it tonight, but Elias, be careful. Marcus doesn't just steal credit. When people threaten him, he destroys them. I requested a formal meeting with Sarah and HR for Friday at 2 p.m. David and Angela sat in the back as witnesses. Sarah arrived looking annoyed, Marcus confident. Elias, this better be important, Sarah said. I have a board meeting at 4. It's important. I opened my first folder. Last Tuesday, I fixed the Patterson system. Marcus claimed he documented the solution beforehand. We've been through this, Marcus said wearily. Your documentation email was sent at 11:03 a.m. after I fixed the system at 6:37 a.m. I have the server logs. I slid the document across. Let's talk about Rebecca Santiago, intern, fired 3 months ago. She solved a security flaw on March 15th and documented it in an email to you at 2:34 p.m. You presented that solution as yours on March 17th. Sarah frowned. Marcus? Rebecca was struggling. I mentored her through that solution. Except David was there. David, what actually happened? David stood. Rebecca solved it independently. She emailed Marcus for approval. He told her to wait, then presented it himself without mentioning her. David, you're letting friendship cloud your judgment, Marcus said, voice hardening. I barely knew Rebecca, but I know Angela Rodriguez. I turned to her. Angela, tell them about the testing framework. Angela stood. I developed it over 4 months. I have version-controlled documentation for every iteration. I showed Marcus the final version on February 18th, asking for feedback. He presented it to clients on February 21st as his innovation. Marcus shot to his feet. This is ridiculous. Sarah, this is a coordinated attack. Sit down, Marcus, Sarah said quietly. I will not sit here and be accused. Sit down. Marcus sat, face flushed. There's a pattern, I continued. Marcus targets people he thinks can't fight back. He takes their work, documents it retroactively, then discredits anyone who complains. Do you have actual proof? Jennifer asked. Yes, I pulled out the final documents. Rebecca's original code with her digital signature. Angela's designs with version control. My diagnostic notes from security footage. Sarah read through them, her expression darkening. Sarah, you know me. You know what I brought to this company. Marcus started. How much was actually yours? Sarah asked coldly. All of it. They're lying. Why would we all lie? Angela demanded. Revenge. Elias is bitter. You're angry about promotions. I was passed over because you stole my work. Angela's voice shook. Are you really going to believe a janitor over me? Marcus turned to Sarah desperately. I believe evidence, Sarah said. Jennifer, we need a full audit of Marcus's work history. Marcus, you're suspended pending investigation. Suspended? Marcus exploded. For what? Theft of intellectual property. Marcus turned on me. You did this. You're just a janitor, a nobody. You destroyed your own career, I said quietly. I made this company millions. I'm irreplaceable. He stepped toward me. You're nothing. You'll always be nothing. That's enough, Sarah said sharply. Marcus grabbed my shirt. You're going to regret this. I'll make sure you never work anywhere again. David jumped between us. Back off. Marcus shoved David hard. David stumbled into a chair as everyone moved at once. I'll bury you, all of you, Marcus screamed. Security arrived within minutes, escorting him out as he continued shouting threats. The investigation took 2 weeks. Sarah hired an external firm to audit Marcus's work history. They found 11 instances of stolen intellectual property over 5 years, 11 people whose careers Marcus had damaged. Sarah called me to her office. Elias, I owe you an apology. We failed you and 10 other people who came to us with concerns. Sarah's expression was grim. Marcus has been terminated. He'll never work in this industry again. We're also offering you a position in our engineering department. Full salary, benefits, formal training. I sat back, stunned. I'm a janitor. You're a problem solver who taught himself advanced systems engineering. That's exactly who we need. Rebecca flew back from Ohio for her full-time position offer. Angela got her promotion with formal recognition for her framework. David joined my new team. Then Marcus showed up at the office one afternoon, bypassing security. Where's Elias? I need to talk to Elias. I walked to the lobby. Marcus looked terrible, unshaven, disheveled, desperate. Elias, please, we need to talk. We have nothing to say. I'm sorry, okay? I was wrong. His voice broke. I lost everything. My career, my reputation, my wife. Please just tell them you made a mistake. Give me a second chance. No, please, I'm begging you. Like you gave Rebecca a second chance, or Angela, or the 9 others. I stepped closer. You made choices. You chose to steal, to lie, to destroy people you thought were powerless. Those weren't mistakes. That was who you are. Marcus's expression shifted from pleading to fury. You were a janitor. I had everything, and you took it. No, Marcus, you had stolen work and borrowed credibility. I just helped everyone see the truth. I'll fight this. I'll sue. You'll lose, Sarah said, appearing with security. The documentation is comprehensive. Come near this building again and we'll file a restraining order. Security escorted him out as he shouted threats. That evening, David, Angela, Rebecca, and I celebrated over dinner. To Elias, David raised his glass, the janitor who cleaned house. To all of us, I corrected. Everyone who refused to let him keep getting away with it. Think he'll stay away? Rebecca asked. He doesn't have a choice, Angela said. His reputation's destroyed. No company will touch him. As we talked, I thought about that morning when I'd said, I can fix it. I'd meant the system crashed, but in the end, I'd fix something much bigger. What would you do if someone took credit for your work? Have you ever witnessed workplace theft? Share your story in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more true revenge stories about justice and accountability.